Hey there, it's Roxanne Lessa, the Art Quilters Coach, and I'm just inviting you into my studio today to show you the beginning of quilting a new piece. I already have it layered up, ready to go with my wool batting, and so here's what I'm looking at. I've got my quilting gloves. My machine is already set with the darning foot, and the darning plate and the feed dogs are down. I also have a selection of threads that I'm going to be using, and then I've also done a little printout of my quilt with some ideas. This is by no means exactly what I'm going to do. In fact, I've already changed it, but it gives me a starting place. I just print it out and then use colored markers to doodle on it. So I'm just going to leave that over here in case I get stuck. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around, and you're going to see my little buddy there who's next to me. Good. And then you're going to see, there it is. There's my sewing machine. And hopefully this will give you a good view of what I'm doing. So I've already started some of the quilting here. I don't know if I can get it centered so that you can see it. Yeah, right there in the pink section, the orange section, and this black section right here. And that is right pretty much in the middle of my quilt. I'm going to go ahead and roll this up. And I start in the middle and I'm working my way outwards. So the next little bit I'm going to do is probably this little yellow piece right here, because it's right next to the black piece that I just finished. So today I'm using my Superior Threads tri-lobal polyester thread. So I'm going ahead and quickly thread. And I've got looks like a size 12 top stitch needle in there. And in the bobbin, I've got my clear polyester monofilament thread, also by Superior Threads. So I'm going to don the magic quilting gloves. And here I go. Okay, so first thing I need to do is to get my quilt out of the way. And I'm going to start in this little corner over here. So I'm going to put my needle down in that little bit right there. And I'm going to pull my bobbin thread up. You can't see it because it's clear, but it is up to the top. And I'm going to put my presser foot down and my needle down in the same spot. Okay, now I am ready to start. I'm going to start with a few very short anchor stitches. And then I'm going to continue along that top area there slowly. And then stop with my needle down. Okay, and then I'm going to continue echoing across this yellow bit right here. So I'm going to go down a few stitches, and then I'm going to go across again. And I'm going to continue across. I might curve it up a little bit just to make it a little more interesting. Follow that curve. And come back down. I'm trying to stay in the yellow and not go into the purple section. Okay, so now I've got most of it done, but I still have to do that little corner right there. So I'm actually going to take a couple locking stitches, and then I'm going to needle up I'm going to push everything back over there, drag my thread with me, needle down, take a couple more locking stitches, and then continue. Just finishing off a little corner in there. Take a few more locking stitches and stop with the needle down. Okay, then I can go back with my snips and get rid of that little traveling thread, and then on the back I'll do the same thing with the bobbin thread. I can go back and snip where I began. Now to tie off, I'm going to needle up. I'm going to pull the whole thing towards me, grab it with my finger, slide it back to where I first was, needle down again, and then needle up again. That pulls up my bobbin thread, which is very hard for you to see, but believe me, it's there. Because I've already taken a few locking stitches, I can just go ahead and snip that off, and I have a nice clean finish. And that's it for that little section. And I'm going to continue on down here into this purple area right here so that I don't trap any bubbles in my quilt. I'm mostly using, I'm going to turn the camera around again. I'm mostly using matching threads. However, I do have some variegated threads that I'm going to be using. And on the black sections, I'm just using plain black. Here's another variegated orangey yellow thread. And then the rest are just solid colors that I'm matching. When I pull threads, I like to lay them down on top of the quilt surface. So for instance, this orange is a pretty good match here. I don't know if you can see that. Pretty good, sort of disappears into the orange. And then this purple matches pretty well. Get it where you can see it. It's kind of hard to see in the shadow. But that matches pretty well as well. Sometimes I want my threads to match. Sometimes I want them to stand out. In these areas over here, where the fabric is a little more varied itself, I'm going to be using this thread right here, so that you can see that that's going to have some nice variety in there when I lay it down on the fabric. So that's it for today. Just want to give you a sneak peek into how I quilt. And I don't have a master plan to begin with. Sometimes I just go with the flow of what the fabric is telling me, what the overall design is telling me to do. Let me pick up the phone here so I can give you an overview. There we go. And I can turn this around and show you what I have done so far. All right, that's it for today. Happy quilting.